Okay, yes guys, good morning. I hope my screen is visible to you all, right? So now in today's session we are going to discuss one of the very important features of our Azure cloud base. Okay, as earlier we have seen cloning of our machines, okay, which was one of the very important feature of the cloud, right? If you don't have a cloud, then running with your cloning or backing up your machines is quite difficult, right? So now we are going to discuss one more very important feature of about cloud, okay, which we call it as scale sets on Azure. Okay, so what happens with scale sets? Okay, we'll be discussing about this thing, right? Now, for example, okay, for example, you are having your server over here. Okay, this is your machine which you are running. It might be a Windows machine or it might be a Linux machine. Okay, that you can take any machine. Okay, no problem in that case. Okay, it could be a Linux or Windows. So let us take Linux for example. Okay, if you are running a Linux machine, right? Now you are the caretaker of this machine. Okay, you are the admin of this machine. If anything happens to this machine, who is responsible? You people are responsible for that because you are DevOps engineers. Okay, you are the control of Azure over here, right? Now if this machine is running good, okay, you feel that this machine is also running good. Suddenly at night 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, okay, this machine went to a high utilization, okay, very high. See, normally, okay, this machine, if utilization is at 60%, still it will run, not an issue. Okay, and if the load is more increasing on this machine, what will happen? It will go to 70%. Okay, still if the load is more, it will go to 80%, 90%. And what happens at 100%? Okay, at 100% utilization, your machine will stop responding to the request which you are giving to your machine. Okay, if you are going to add more and more load onto your machine, what will happen? Your machine will stop responding to the request which you are following. Okay, the more load you give onto that machine, it will stop responding to the request which you are giving to this machine, right? Then in these cases, how will you protect your machine? Okay, because load might increase at any time, right? It might happen at a daytime or it might happen at the night time, especially if it happens at a time when you are not in the shift. Then, so these are not physical servers, right? These servers are running in cloud. Okay, so you should make sure that these servers are always running healthy over here. Okay, if the load is also increasing, you have to have a solution where your machine should not be going into a unresponsive mode, or they should not be taking a huge load over here in that case, right? So now, okay, using our Azure VM scale sets, guys, okay, you can also call it as auto scaling over here. Okay, so we call it as scale sets on Azure. So what happens with the scale sets over here is, okay, whenever your machine CPU utilization is increasing, okay, CPU utilization is one of the metrics through which we can easily analyze how well our machine is running, guys. Okay, it's a metric actually. Okay, normally, how will you check the speed on which you are traveling in terms of kilometers per hour, miles per hour? Over here, you check your machine performance with respect to CPU utilization. Okay, so the more the CPU utilization, the more disadvantages you will get. Okay, the CPU utilization, you have to always make sure it has to be, okay, a bit low over here. So the less the CPU utilization, your machine performance will be more. The more the CPU utilization, your machine performance will be less. Okay, it works inversely proportional to each other, right? So now your machine performance is going increasingly high. Okay, now you have to make sure that your machine performance should be running fine over here. So then in that case, what I'll do over here is, okay, whenever my machine performance, for example, it is at 60, no problem. When it is at 70, no problem. So when it is reaching 80, okay, when it is reaching 80, a value as a threshold value. Okay, you can take threshold values depending upon your choice over here. At whichever value you want, you can take that value as your threshold value. You can take it at 80% or 70% or 60%, that is your choice totally. Okay, Azure will not decide that. You can take that values over here. So whichever value you take as your threshold value, so whenever your machine reaches at 80%, okay, what it will do over here is, okay, it will create a one more machine for you guys. It will create a one more machine for you, because load is increasing on that machine. Single machine cannot sustain that much load over here, so it is increasing gradually. So single machine over here cannot take more load, because load is increasing gradually over here. So what our scale set will do over here is, scale set will come to know that, okay, load is increasing very high. Okay, so to balance the load, to manage the load, it will create one more machine for you. It will create one more machine for you. At what threshold it will create a one more machine for you, and it will create the same identical machine for us. Same identical machine it will create for us, and at 70% it will create a one more machine for you. One more machine will get created for us over here, right? In this way. In this way. Okay, so that 80% it got created. Again, what happens is, okay, suppose this is your machine one. Okay, let us assume that this is your machine one over here, and this is your machine two. Okay, now again what happens over here is, if your second machine is also slowly started increasing, guys. Okay, second machine is also going above 60%, 70%, and it has also reached 80% over here. Again, this is the threshold value, right? Okay, again at 80%, what will happen over here? Again at 80%, okay, again at 80%, it will create a one more machine for you. Again at 80%, one more machine will get created for us, like this. Okay, now this will be our machine 3, and this will be your same machine as we had our Linux machine. This will be our same Linux machine over here as well, and this will be our machine 3 over here. This will be our machine 3, right? Fine. Now, so I'm telling you about, okay, the utilization is going high. It is adding more and more machines. Second machine went 80%, it will create third machine. Third machine will go 80%, it will create fourth machine also. Now, okay, now when your utilization coming down, guys, now, okay, now if your utilization is going down, okay, from 80%, now utilization came to 60%, for example. Okay, utilization came back to 60% over here. Okay, so when the utilization is going down slowly, okay, do I need a third machine over here? No, right? I don't need a third machine. Whenever utilization is at 70%, 80%, I need one more machine. And when utilization is going down slowly, it is going backwards, and now it is at 60%, do I need a third machine? I don't need a third machine, right? So it will remove the third machine from over here. It will remove the third machine. Okay, whatever addition is there, okay, whenever it is adding the machine, it will add it in an automated way, and whenever it is removing the machine, it will remove the machine in an automated way only. Okay, we call this method as our graceful shutdown. So graceful shutdown is a method where it will shut down and it will get terminated in a more efficient way. Okay, so that our responses should not go delayed. So that is a graceful shutdown which will happen over here. Okay, and it will delete your machines. So internally what happens in Azure is, there are two types of signals, guys, actually. Okay, one is, okay, so when graceful shutdown happens, okay, so there are two types of signals which internally happens on this machine to in between Azure. Okay, so internally what Linux or any kernel, what it will do is, there are two types of signals. One is sig stop and the other is sig kill. Okay, so when do we say any machine is going for a graceful shutdown? Graceful shutdown happens when it goes for sig stop and then sig kill. You have to stop your signals and then you have to kill your machines. Directly, if you are going for sig kill, forcefully if you delete any machine, so that is not a graceful shutdown. Okay, so we have to always make sure that we are going with a graceful shutdown. And when it is shutting down in an automated way, it will first send a seek stop and then it will send a seek kill command. So this is a graceful shutdown, right? Now, so when it is removing that machine, it will do a graceful shutdown over here. Okay, so there will be no effect on your application. It will smoothly come out of your scale set, right? Now, when second machine is at 60%, third machine came out from your group, right? And now when again first machine is at 60%, okay, first machine utilization came down, guys. Now, do you need a second machine? Right? Not required. Machines in the same way, it will start removing the machines also. So if your utilization is increasing, it will add the machines. If your utilization is decreasing, it will remove the machines also. It will not only add the machines, but it will remove the machines also. Okay, so both the operations it will handle over here. It will add the machines and it will remove your machines also, right? So scale set will help you to add your machines and to remove your machines as well, right? Very good. Now there is a one more thing over here, okay, which we have to know. Okay, now we came to know about it is adding the machines, and when utilization is going down, it is removing the machines also. So in a real-time example where this situation actually suits over here means, for example, if I take an example of Flipkart only, okay. So on Flipkart, okay, okay, obviously you have seen that Flipkart, even it has billions of customers, millions of customers, okay, it never crashes actually most of the time, okay. And if you see the example of YouTube, okay, YouTube is used by millions of customers every day, or I can even say every minute, okay. Still YouTube doesn't crashes over here, right? YouTube generally doesn't have a crash history. If you see, Flipkart doesn't have a crash history. And if I take an example of, okay, our JNT website over here, okay, usually on our results day, or if you want to download your MSET hall tickets or some other hall tickets, JNT website mostly crashes. It crashes mostly. Okay, what is the reason behind that? This is the reason behind that. Okay, when load on your machine is increasing, so JNT is not using any cloud servers. They are having physical servers, physical data centers, okay, at the university campus only, right? So when load is increased above 80%, 90%, 100%, it will not create a second machine in an automated way. One machine, it will take the entire load, or 10 machines, it will take the entire load. So once the number of students has surpassed, it will no longer serve the request. Site crashes because more machines are required. It will not create it in an automated way, right? Or else you have to purchase it from the market and have to attach it to the data center physically. If you want to do physically, if you want to do, you have to purchase it and then you have to attach it to a data center, right? If you take the Flipkart example over here, Flipkart sometimes they do, okay, uh, big billion day sales, some sales they will do, right? Especially on during that sales, the million it will increase to 10 million. It will increase to 10 million in one day only, suddenly. So in this case, your skill sets will help you. If more number of customers are logging to your website, what will happen? More load will come. It reaches 80%. It is a cloud server. What it will do? It will create a one more machine. If that is also going high, more number of customers coming, it will create one more server in an automated way for us, right? Suppose you are running this big billion day on Sunday, more number of users came, you have used it, lot of sale happened, very good, right? So 10 servers were running, everything was good. On next Monday, okay, next Monday again the users count will come down, right? Once your sales and everything is completed, again your user count will come down normally. So only during the sales you will have high number of customers. After that again the customers count will come down, right? Again on normal day you will have normal customers, suppose 1 million only. Then do I need 10 servers? Not needed also. So it will remove that machines which are not required. So it's the most cost efficient way, guys. You will pay for that servers which are required for you only, and you will not pay for the servers which are not required. So when user count is increasing, it is so smart that it will analyze that load is increasing, it will create. And it is so smart, it will analyze that load is decreasing, it will remove the machines. Okay, very important, okay, concept, and very, very useful also in real time. You will be using skill sets mostly, because according to the load only your machines are getting added, and when there is no load, the machines will get removed also, right? Okay, so the same thing happens with YouTube also. Okay, it also never crashes over here because it is also running on cloud environment only over here. Okay, and as it is running on cloud environment, the more number of customers you still add, there is no issue with that. Okay, it can easily manage, easily handle. It can create more servers in an automated way over here, right? So this thing happens in our real-time environments. Okay, so let it be there. Now, as I told you guys, first machine increasing creates second machine, second machine increasing creates third machine. Okay, now you can set a limit on this number of machines actually. Suppose, okay, there is one count over here actually, we call it as desired value. Okay, desired value means you can set how many number of machines you want actually. Okay, normally if you want two machines, the two machines will be running for you 24/7. 24/7, two machines will be running for you always. Whatever is the load, two machines will be running for you always. Okay, and there will be one max count actually. Okay, what is the max count over here means, the load is increasing, it creates second machine. Second machine load is increasing, it will create third machine. Suppose third machine load is increasing to 80%. Okay, 80%. Okay, it will create the fourth machine, right? It will create the fourth machine for us, like over here in this way. Okay, and this will be my fourth machine over here. Okay, and I will give the max value as 4 over here, guys, for example. Okay, then what will happen, you know, if fourth machine, okay, utilization, if it is increases to 80% also, it will not create the fifth machine for you. It will not create the fifth machine for you because you have given the limited max value as 4 only. Upper value you have given it as 4 only. You can set up, you can set that number over here. For example, you have budget of 4 machines only, set that max value to 4 only. You have budget of 6 machines, set the max value to 6 only. Okay, so according to your budgets, you can set a limit on that upper value over here. Or else whenever the load is increasing, scale set will create more and more machines. Okay, so you can have that upper value to be set over here. So that upper value will stop you at that max value over here. Okay, so you can give max value at 4, at 5 or 6, and at that value it will not create a one more new machine for you. Okay, it will be stopping the creation of your machines at that max value. Okay, so this is how your skill sets will be working over here, guys, and it will always make sure that your application or your banking site or any whatever application you are running, it will make sure that it will be running 24/7 for you over here. Okay, it will never make you to get crashed. And if you are on that particular day, on that particular shift or not, if you are working on that day or not, okay, so your cloud will be working for them over here 24/7. Just set up the values, whatever values you want, just give the threshold values, it will work accordingly with that things. Okay, it never, okay, make sure that it never crashes over here, right? Now going back to my Azure board, okay, let us create our, okay, scale set over here. Okay, so you can see I have virtual machine scale sets over here, or you also, okay, you can search for scale set. So this is our virtual machine scale sets. Okay, so you can see the diagram also, it has given the similar kind of a picture, machine behind a machine and machine behind a machine, right? So if I go to scale sets over here, okay, let me create a scale set, right? So I'll click on create. Okay, and let me create a scale set for us, guys. This is similar to how we create our virtual machines only, because when you create a skill set, virtual machine only will get created. Okay, virtual machine will get only created, but the most important thing over here is scaling over here, guys. Okay, scaling is the most important thing over here. Okay, which we have to select. Anyhow, the scaling part only will be discussing, right? So before that, let me select, okay, the basic settings over here. So my resource group will be Flipkart. Okay, and let me give a name to my skill set. Okay, I'll give a name over here as Krishna. Okay, and let me create this in my Southeast Asia. Okay, availability zone none. Okay, so the first option gives you over here that if you want to create the skill sets, okay, with identical machines, as I told you guys that it will be creating the similar kind of a machine for you. If you are having Linux machine over here, the second machine which is getting created, that would be a Linux machine only. So normally we will follow the same procedure in real time as well. Whatever machine we have as machine one, will create a same machine as second machine also over here. But if you want the second machine, okay, to be a different machine type, you can go for flexible also. Okay, but mostly will not go for that. We'll go for uniform only over here. So for example, if you imagine Linux machine is running and if it reaches 80%, you can create a Windows machine also. But that doesn't makes your architecture to work in a uniform way, right? So every machines in your group will be Linux machines, or there will be a Windows machines. You'll not keep one Linux, one Windows, one Linux, one Windows running in application. Okay, uniformity will not be there, right? It's not that you cannot keep, but that is not how we work in real time. Okay, so either you will keep Linux machine groups or you will keep Windows machine groups. Okay, so I'll be keeping a uniformity over here. So I've selected uniform, and let me select a Linux image over here so that, okay, we'll be creating our virtual machines quickly over here, guys. Okay, if I take Windows, it will be taking more time for me for it to get created, right? So you can select any image over here, guys. Windows or Linux, both will work. Don't think that it will work for Linux only. Okay, it will work for Windows also over here. Windows and Linux, both it will work. Okay, so I'm selecting my Linux machine key. Okay, I already have my Linux key over here, so I've selected that. Right now I've selected all the basic functionalities over here. Right now I have next is for disk. Okay, where we'll be having our SSDs to be selected. So this is the same thing we do for our virtual machine creation also. We will select our disk. Okay, networking. Right now whatever machines we are creating until now, guys, we are using a default network only. We are using a default network only. Once we go ahead in our classes, I'll show you guys how to create your own network on Azure also. We call it as virtual network. You can create your own networks also over here, right? We'll be creating at, okay, later point once we go ahead. Now the next point is for scaling, guys, and this is very important for us. This scaling is only what helps you to run your skill sets in whichever fashion you want over here. So here is where you will be giving your threshold points. Okay, so if you have, okay, initial count as 2, I told you, no, this is your desired count, guys. If you write it as 2, always 2 machines will be running for you. Always it makes sure that 2 machines will be running for you always over here. If you run desired count as 1, one machine will be running always for you. Okay, let me write it as 2. Let it create 2 machines, no problem. Okay, and the scaling policies. Okay, scaling policies over here. Okay, if you keep it manual, it will balance, okay, over here. But if I keep it custom, I can select all the values over here, guys. I can select all the values, and we will be going for custom method only most of the times, where you have to select the scaling policies. You have to select the scaling values. Whatever desired values you have, you can set over here, guys, no problem at all. Okay, now let us give these values one by one, guys. Minimum number of instances is 1. Okay, that at least it has to be running. one machine, and my desired count is 2, which means 2 machines will be running. Very good. Max number of instances means now you understand this. You can limit max. If you keep 4, it will not create a fifth machine. If you keep 5, it will not create a sixth machine for you. Okay, so I'll keep it 4 over here as well. Okay, so you can keep it 7, 10, okay, whatever the value you want. Maximum you can give it up to 90. Over here I'm giving the max value as machine for us. Okay, so I'm deciding this value over here. Later on, if you want to edit, you can edit it also. It's not that whatever values you are giving over here, these are fixed values. You can change and modify as well, right? So max it will create fourth machine, which means fifth machine will not get created over here, right? That is the max value. And as I told you guys, that CPU threshold is the most important metric for us. Depending on the CPU threshold only, your scaling and scale out will work. Okay, scaling means it will add a machine, scale out means it will remove the machine. Okay, so you have two options over here. One is scale out, okay, and the other is scale in over here, right? So at the 70% of CPU threshold, okay, right, okay, so sorry, okay, scale out means adding the machines, guys. Scale in means removing the machine. Okay, so scale out is adding the machine. Okay, write it. Okay, scale out is adding the machine. Scale in means it will remove the machine. Now at the CPU threshold, guys, what is the value it is given to us? 75%. Your choice. Whatever value you want to set, you set. You want to give 60, you give 60. You want to give 70, you give 70. What value I have given in the diagram over here? 80, right? I'll go for 80. Okay. So at 80%, what should happen at 80%, guys? One more machine should get added to the group. Number of instances should be added to the group. Over here it is showing you that instances to be increased by 1. If one more machine gets added, and if second machine also going above 80%, it will create a third machine. Then one more machine will get added and it will create a fourth machine. At a time, if you want two machines to come also, you can write. Okay, no problem, you can give at a time, two machines will get created for us. But the best option is to add one machine to the group, right? This is a more better approach actually, where one machine will get added, and if it is increasing in its value, one more machine will get added. If it is increasing its percentage, one more machine will get added, right? And now, so if the CPU threshold is for 80% and constantly it is 80% for up to 10 minutes, then it will add one more machine. It's not that for 1 minute it went high, again it came down, means no need to add one more machine, right? Just for 1 minute it came above. So for 1 minute we don't need one more machine. Okay, but the best default value in real time what we take over here is 5 minutes, guys. Okay, 5 minutes is where you have 300 seconds. Okay, so 300 seconds is our default value which we take in real time. So for continuously for 5 minutes, if your machine is above 80%, it will create a one more machine. For 1 minute it is going high or low, no problem for us, it can manage. But constantly for 5 minutes it is going above, then that is a problem for us. That is where it will create a one more machine for us. Okay, and again for scale out over here, see, this is for scale in. Sorry, again for scale in, what will happen? It will remove the machine. It will remove the machine for us in scale in, and you can set this value over here. It is 25 over here, and what I want is at 60%. At 80% you add the machine, and at 60% I am telling you to remove the machine. Okay, so we can check over here, it will decrease by one instance. It will remove one instance from our group. It will remove one instance from our set over here, right? So we have given the values 80 to add, 60 to remove. Okay, so if you want to get the logs, we can get the logs also over here. Okay, that whatever auto scaling is adding, whatever auto scaling is removing, it will be creating a separate logs for us over here. Okay, right? So I'll not be going for any separate logs, and this is our scaling policy, guys. And if you see, it is completely in your control only. Azure is completely giving you the number to scale, the percentage value, number to increase, number to decrease is completely under your control only, guys. Okay, Azure is just working on whatever instructions you are giving over here, right? Fine, guys. Okay, so now let me click on next. Okay, so this is our subscription relation parameter. Okay, so scaling values. Okay, once you have given over here, okay, I'll be directly going for review and create, right? Okay, so this is a machine which I am creating over here, guys. Okay, now normally when you are creating the machine, there was no scaling values you are giving, right? But for this virtual machine scale sets, we are giving the scaling values. Okay, and these are our scaling values that which we have given over here. Okay, important scaling values, right? Now let me click on create, and it will create a virtual machine scale set, and it will create virtual machines also, and it will work according to the utilizations that which we have given over here. Okay, so these machines are always safe for us, guys. So these virtual machines are always running for us. It will never make sure it to get crashed. Okay, so this is the best way of creating your machines, best practice method for always creating your machines in a scale sets.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes,
Srujan, sir.
yes, Rujan.
Sir, can we add scaling to the existing VM which
Yeah,
already created?
yes. We can add existing VM also.
Okay, okay.
Can add,
So
yeah.
same process only.
Yeah, same process only.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So now the deployment is under progress. Okay, so once it's created, it will be creating our virtual machine sets over here. Okay, so this is one of the again major reason that why companies are switching to cloud, guys, because okay, they no need to worry about anything. If the load is increasing, customer count is increasing, or it is going low also, there is no problem for a company. It will work according to that scaling policies only. Okay, so we can see that our deployment got completed. Okay, and because it was Linux machines, okay, it was a bit okay quicker over here, and we can see that status, it is showing 2 out of 2. Okay, succeeded over here. And if you click on instances, you will see how many machines got created for us. 2 machines got created because I've given the desired count of my machines as 2 over here, right? So if I be going to okay my home. Okay, so let it get loaded. Okay, please just check it out. Okay, this is the IP address. It will come. In the I have taken my Flipkart resource group only. Okay, it will come. It will come definitely. Okay, so if you go to scaling, okay, so these are our scaling policies that which we have set over here, guys. Okay, so these scaling policies are always very important for us, guys. So depending upon these scaling policies only, your scaling policies will be working over here, right? So these scaling policies are very important for us. So it is increasing by one count at 80%. Over here you can check whenever it is going above 80%. Okay, it is increasing by one machine, and whenever it is going below 60%, it will be decreasing it by one machine over here. So in real time, when you people are working, so if you want to check what scaling policies they have set on their machines, existing machines, go to scaling over here. Go to scaling and you can check, okay? And if you want to change the scaling policies, okay, so there is a profile which to be get added over here, okay, and you could be adding more a profile over here, okay. So this is one onto one profile and scale to be a defined over here, and you can change your values, right? Again, if you click on save, so it will be working over here. So these scaling policies, okay, are balanced across multiple zones, guys. Okay, so anyhow, when we create our network, our own network, I'll tell you about the availability zones, okay, how to make it onto our. So right now, concentrate onto your scaling values, scaling policies, and you will be checking it over here, right? An activity log will help you to give your scaling policies. Okay, so whenever the load is increasing on your machine, okay, if I want to add one more machine, I have to increase the load up to 70 or 80%, okay, which is very huge. So anyhow, so whenever it creates one more machine in the activity log, it will show you that one more machine got created. When it is going less, one more machine got removed. So in real time, you can check your activity logs over here under the activity. Okay, so you have to be creating your scaling sets over here, guys. So create your scale sets, okay, and as a created Linux, it got created quickly. Okay, same operation you can do it on Windows only. Okay, so again, we don't need to do it on Windows, it's the same operation only. So the most important thing over here which we have to understand is scale in and scale out. Okay, so scale out is where it is adding machines, scaling is where it is removing the machines. So it's an interview question, definitely be asked that what scaling values you have set in your real time. If you are a working professional, they'll be asking you what are the threshold values which you have kept in your project. Go with 80/60 only. These are the best scaling values which we will set in real time. Tell them that you have set it 80 and set it at 60%. Okay, these are the real time values which we will take. 80/60. Okay, the best numbers to go for, and max numbers will stop you at the max count value. That will be the max value for us. Okay, anyhow, if you understand this thing, setting the values over there is not a major thing for us. Just you have to give the numbers over there, that's it. Okay, if you know how it works, if you understand how it works, you have to just set the values over there, that's it. Okay, so anyhow, this is how it works over here for managing and balancing the entire load for us, guys. Okay, so in your practice sessions, do it for Linux, do it for Windows also. Just image selection is what you have to do. Okay, so that we'll be going for our next topic tomorrow. Okay, yeah, fine, guys. Then okay, so create your skill sets. And one more thing, guys, whatever you people are creating, I hope you people are deleting it also, right? Okay, so one more thing. Okay, normally in your accounts you will have public IP addresses, guys. The more number of machines you create, it will occupy more IP addresses over here. Okay, so after once you exhaust with that IP addresses, that IP addresses limit, if you have reached, it will not allow you to create more machines. In your free tier account, we have limited IPs to go with. Okay, so select these IPs. Okay, go for search first, go to public IPs, select your IPs and disassociate and delete, guys. Okay, so one of our batchmate got the same issue. Okay, when you also get your IPs filled up, you will also get. So before that only, select your IPs, dissociate and delete, guys. Directly it will not get deleted. Dissociate and delete, dissociate and delete, so that IP addresses will be free, because you will delete the virtual machine, but this will be still occupied. That IP will not release quickly. It still be occupied over here for you. Okay, so dissociate and delete the IPs. Okay, and whatever resources you are creating, remove that resources. Okay. Hmm. Disk also, disk anyhow with the machine, it is getting deleted. Yes, we are going for delete option only for the delete. Okay, so this will get deleted, but images are still there. If it is still there, remove that images also. Okay, so in that way you do. Fine, guys. Okay. Create your build scale set for both Linux and Windows. Okay. And you set up the scale set. If it successfully got created, means rest of the things Azure will take care, increasing, decreasing. So values are set by us. Okay. Internally, it will manage the complete increasing or decreasing of our machines. Okay. So much effort is actually reduced for us. Okay. With our Azure, actually. Right. Fine, guys. Then okay. So I'll be saving the